I'm Dr. Laura. Thank you for your valuable time for tonight's video. Before we dive in, allow me to ask you a very personal question. Have you ever woken up in the morning feeling more tired, more achy, and weaker than when you went to bed the night before? A certain heaviness in your bones, a slight hesitation before you push yourself up from your favorite armchair. Have you noticed your grip isn't quite as firm when you twist open a jar, or that lifting your beloved grandchild requires an effort it never used to? We often chalk it up to just getting older. The aches, the fatigue, we see it as the price of admission for a long and full life, don't we? But what if I told you that this growing weakness is not just a sign of aging, but that it is a silent warning bell from your heart itself? Now, I want you to imagine something with me. Picture the body you've lived in all these years as a sturdy house. Every single night as you fall asleep, a silent demolition crew gets to work. They make no noise, they leave no dust. They are stealing the precious bricks from the load-bearing walls of your home, and those bricks are your muscle mass. And what you might ask is the foundation of that house, the very thing holding it all up. It's your heart. As the walls weaken, as they can no longer support their own weight, all of that pressure, all of that strain is transferred down to the foundation. An unimaginable pressure night after night. Tonight, I am here to speak with you not as a doctor to a patient, but as a friend. I want to show you how to fire that demolition crew. For good. In my 3 decades of medical practice, I have witnessed stories that textbooks could never tell. And I have discovered an alarming truth that is rarely discussed in mainstream medicine. The muscle loss that occurs at night can be a silent trigger for a heart attack. The information I am about to share is not the generic health advice you can find anywhere online. This isn't another top 5 foods list. This is a life-saving blueprint born from real-world experience with patients exactly like you. So I sincerely ask you to stay with me, because what you are about to learn in these next few minutes could completely reshape the future of your health and the health of those you love. In the first part, I mentioned a nightly demolition crew. The medical term for this process is catabolism. It sounds complicated, but the idea is actually quite simple. Think of it this way. When we sleep, our bodies don't just shut down. They enter a vital cycle of repair and regeneration. But after the age of 60, if we don't provide the right kind of fuel before bed, that cycle can be reversed. Instead of building your body in a desperate attempt to maintain critical functions during the 8-hour fast begins to borrow energy. And the easiest place to borrow from is your precious protein reserves, your muscles. This is not your fault. It is an ancient survival mechanism hardwired into us. But in the modern world, it is turning against us. So the critical question is, how exactly does losing a bit of muscle in your arms or legs pose a danger to a powerful organ like your heart? The connection is deeper and more dangerous than you think. It works like a series of dominoes, and the first domino is what I call the inactivity spiral. Let me tell you about George. George is a 76-year-old Marine Corps veteran from Texas. He was once a man who could fix his own roof in the morning and dance with his wife in the evening. But when I met him, he confessed something to me that broke my heart. He said, "Dr. Harris, I'm scared to even walk to the end of my driveway to get the mail." It wasn't out of laziness. It was because he was afraid of getting breathless, of his heart pounding in his chest. George didn't realize that the weakness in his legs was forcing his heart to silently overwork just to compensate. That is the first domino. Muscle loss leads to a feeling of weakness. Weakness leads to reduced activity. We start avoiding the stairs, we skip our walk in the park. And when we stop moving, our heart, a muscle itself, is no longer being exercised. It grows weaker just like any other muscle that isn't used. Have you found yourself choosing to sit more than you stand? That choice may seem harmless, but it can be the first step on a very dangerous path, one that leads to increased risk of a heart attack. The second domino is even quieter. I call it the silent fire of chronic inflammation. Imagine chronic inflammation as a low-grade fire constantly smoldering inside your body. You don't feel the heat, but it's always there. That fire slowly disintegrates your delicate muscle fibers, making you weaker. But at the same time, it's attacking somewhere else. It is hardening and damaging the delicate, smooth lining of your arteries, creating the perfect rough surface for bad cholesterol to cling to. These plaques are the hallmark of heart disease and the primary cause of a heart attack. Do you see? The same fire, the same enemy is destroying two critical systems at once. When your muscles are aching, it's highly likely your arteries are crying out for help too. And this brings us to the final domino, and it's the most important thing I want you to remember tonight. The heart is a muscle too. We so often forget this fundamental truth. Your heart is the hardest working, most loyal muscle in your body. It beats around 100,000 times a day without a single complaint, without a single day off. When your body is in a state of protein and micronutrient deficit at night, to feed your arm and leg muscles, which organ do you think also gets starved? Yes, your heart. The weakening of your skeletal muscles is also the weakening of your cardiac muscle. A heart that is starved, inflamed, and overworked cannot fight back when a blood clot forms. It is a heart vulnerable to a heart attack. So how do we put out this fire? How do we give our bodies the right building blocks to rebuild at night instead of demolish? The answer, thankfully, lies in an act that is surprisingly simple and wonderfully delicious. After hearing about the demolition crew and the domino effect, you might be feeling a little worried. That is perfectly natural. But now we are going to talk about hope. We are going to talk about rebuilding. The answer doesn't lie in an expensive pill. It lies right here in nature's pharmacy. Each nut I am about to introduce is a specialist in its field. Think of them as an elite team you can hire to protect your body every single night. Our first specialist, almonds, the regulator of rhythm and blood vessels. People often talk about the protein in almonds, and that's true. But for me, the real magic for your heart and muscle health lies in a mineral. They are packed with magnesium. Think of magnesium as a masterful orchestra conductor inside your body. At the end of a long day, it gently signals to your muscle fibers. All right, time to relax. It helps prevent those painful nighttime leg cramps that jolt you awake. But at the same time, that conductor turns to the orchestra of your blood vessels and signals, relax. It helps the walls of your arteries ease up, allowing blood to flow more freely and helping to lower your blood pressure naturally. High blood pressure is a leading risk factor for a heart attack, so this is a critical benefit. One arrow hitting two of the most important targets. Let me tell you about Mary. Mary, 72, from Florida, came to me because she could hardly sleep. Leg cramps tortured her every night, and her blood pressure monitor was always in the alarm zone. I advised her to do something very simple. Eat 15 raw almonds every night before bed. 6 weeks later, she called me, her voice beaming. Not only were the cramps gone, but her blood pressure was more stable than ever, so much so that her cardiologist asked in amazement what she had done. She just smiled and said, "I have a new conductor for my orchestra doctor." Your protocol. Try eating 15 raw almonds about 30 minutes before bed with a small glass of water. Let your body's conductor get to work. Our second specialist, walnuts, the extinguisher of the inflammatory fire. If almonds are the conductor, then walnuts are your body's elite fire department. their weapon. Something called omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s aren't just good for the brain as we so often hear. They are a powerful anti-inflammatory agent. When you eat walnuts before bed, you are dispatching this fire crew on an 8-hour patrol. They travel throughout your body from your quietly aching joints to the delicate lining of your coronary arteries, and they extinguish the fires of inflammation we talked about. This inflammation is what can cause plaques in your arteries to rupture, triggering a heart attack. Robert, a retired history teacher from Ohio, wrote me an email. He said, "Dr. Harris, I started eating a few walnuts each night and I noticed I can make a fist more easily in the morning. My knuckles aren't as stiff." What he didn't know was that at the same time, his arteries were also becoming more flexible and less inflamed. He was protecting himself from both arthritis and a heart attack with a handful of nuts. Would you like to dispatch your own fire crew on duty tonight? Your Protocol 7 walnut halves about 45 minutes before bed. You can eat them plain or break them up and sprinkle them over a little unsweetened yogurt. Our third specialist, pistachios. The natural sedative for sleep and the heart. Poor sleep is a tremendous stressor on the heart. When you toss and turn, your heart beats faster, your blood pressure rises. Pistachios are a unique gift from nature because they are one of the few foods that contain natural melatonin, the hormone that signals to your body that it's time for bed. But here's the magic: deep sleep isn't just when your mind rests. It is the golden hour for your body to repair muscle. And it's when your heart gets to take a true vacation. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, your entire cardiovascular system is under less load. Eating a handful of pistachios before bed isn't just about muscle recovery. It's about actively giving your heart an 8-hour holiday, reducing the daily strain that can lead to a heart attack over time. Your protocol. About 25 shelled pistachios 1 hour before bed. The act of shelling them yourself is also a gentle meditative activity to help you wind down. Our fourth specialist, cashews. The power trio for bone, muscle, and heartbeat. If you're looking for an all-purpose engineering team, cashews are the answer. They deliver the power trio: magnesium, zinc, and phosphorus. Think of them like this. Zinc is the foreman directing the synthesis of protein to rebuild damaged muscle fibers. Phosphorus, along with calcium, is the builder strengthening the bone foundation where your muscles anchor. And magnesium, once again, is the electrical engineer, ensuring your heart's electrical conduction system is stable, keeping your heartbeat steady and strong. An irregular heartbeat or arrhythmia can be a serious risk factor for complications that lead to a heart attack. A healthy heart needs a strong skeleton and a well-nourished muscular system to support it. Cashews provide that comprehensive support. Your protocol. About 12 raw cashews. Chew them slowly and feel that you are providing your body with the most skilled engineers. Our fifth specialist, Brazil nuts. The ultimate antioxidant bodyguard. Now let's talk about a specialist so powerful we must use it with great respect. That is the Brazil nut, and its superpower is selenium. Imagine that aging and daily stress create free radicals in your body. These free radicals are like moisture in the air that causes rust on metal. They attack and rust your cells from your muscle cells to your heart cells. Selenium is the ultimate rust-proof armor. It protects your cells from your muscles to the very cells of your heart from the oxidative damage that contributes to heart disease and can culminate in a heart attack. What's incredible is that just 2 Brazil nuts a night provides your billions of cells with a shining coat of armor to last through the night. And my respect for your health forces me to emphasize this with all sincerity. With this nut, more is not better. 2 is the perfect number. Do not eat more. Its power demands our wisdom. Your protocol. Exactly 2. Brazil nuts. 30 minutes before bed, no more, no less. Our final specialist, pecans. The clearer of life's flow. Finally, let's talk about your body's plumbing system, your arteries. Your heart can be a powerful pump, but if the pipes get clogged, the pressure builds up and the flow is blocked. When these pathways in your heart become clogged, the result is a heart attack. Pecans contain an exceptionally high amount of antioxidants that act like professional plumbers. They travel along the arteries, helping to keep the walls pliable and clearing out the plaque that is just starting to form. What does this mean? It means more oxygen and nutrients can reach your muscles so they don't get starved and weak. And it creates a wider, less resistant path for oxygen-rich blood to return and nourish the heart itself. You are helping your heart by lightening its load. Your protocol. About 10 pecan halves 1 hour before bed. Imagine you are cleaning and maintaining your body's most precious plumbing system. We've just talked about 6 wonderful nuts, and each one has its own special job. Almonds are good for preventing cramps. Walnuts help with aches and pains. Pistachios help you sleep well. Each one is good in its own way. But now I want to share something important that I've learned from my patients. You can get the greatest benefit when you combine their strengths together. Think of it this way: instead of just fixing one thing each night, why don't we give our bodies a comprehensive tune-up? I had a patient named Arthur, 78 years old. He tried eating almonds and noticed fewer leg cramps, but he still felt that his joints were a bit stiff in the morning. So we created a small mix that he could eat each night. The results were fantastic. This recipe is very simple, and I call it the Nightly Wellness Mix. It's designed to give your body a little bit of the best of everything, helping you to sleep well, reduce aches, and protect your cardiovascular system all in one handful. Protecting your cardiovascular system is paramount, as this comprehensive approach helps fortify your body against the risks of a heart attack. Each evening, you can prepare a small portion for yourself, consisting of 5 almonds to keep your muscles relaxed, 3 walnut halves to soothe your joints, 10 pistachios to help you fall asleep easily, 5 cashews to provide minerals for bones and heart. Just 1 Brazil nut. This is the perfect dose of selenium to protect your cells. 4 pecan halves to support healthy blood vessels. A handful, this small, contains so many benefits. It's like taking a multivitamin, but it comes from nature and is much more delicious. It provides your body with all the tools it needs to repair itself while you sleep. Now I know what you might be thinking. That sounds like a bit of work to do every night. I completely understand. Life is busy enough as it is. So here is a simpler and more manageable plan you can follow. You don't need to do this every single night. Choose 3 nights a week that work best for you, perhaps Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, to enjoy this nightly wellness mix. On the other 4 nights, make things very simple. Just choose the one type of nut that you feel you need the most that day. Are you having a little trouble sleeping tonight? Have some pistachios. Are you feeling a bit tired and achy? Choose a few walnuts. This way you avoid getting bored and you ensure your body is always getting what it needs. This is not a strict rule. This is a suggestion for you to listen to your body and take care of it in the best way possible. The ultimate goal is to create a good habit that you can maintain for the long run easily and joyfully. Now, I'd like for us to just pause for a moment. I've shared a great deal of information, and I can imagine the questions that might be forming in your mind. They are smart, practical questions. So let's address them together, not as a doctor and patient, but as two friends sitting in a living room having an open conversation. The first question I often hear is, "Doctor, I have a tree nut allergy. What can I do?" This is an incredibly important question, and the answer is crystal clear. If you have an allergy, please do not eat them. Your safety is the absolute top priority, but you are not left behind. Nature has other wonderful options for you. Try a small handful of seeds like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds. They are also rich in magnesium protein and good fats. They can offer similar benefits without the risk. The second question, I have a sensitive stomach. Will eating nuts at night bother me? I completely understand this concern. Our digestive systems change as we get older. My advice is this: start slow, very slow. Don't eat a full handful on the very first night. Try just 3 or 4 nuts. See how your body feels. The little trick I shared about soaking nuts in water for a few hours can also make them much softer and easier to digest. Listen to your body. It will tell you what works best. The third and very practical question. Doctor, these nuts can be quite expensive. Yes, I know they can be. When you look at the price of a bag of walnuts or almonds, it can give you pause. But I invite you to look at it in a different light. See this as an investment in your strength, in your independence. A bag of almonds might cost a few dollars, but it is far cheaper than the cost of a monthly heart medication or the cost of needing in-home care because you're no longer strong enough to manage on your own. Preventing illness, even with small actions, is always less expensive than treating it. And preventing a heart attack is the best investment you can ever make. The next question, I'm on medication for high blood pressure and diabetes. Will eating nuts interfere with that? This is an excellent, responsible question. Generally, nuts are safe. However, to be absolutely sure, a good practice is to eat your nuts about 2 hours apart from when you take your medication. And most importantly, the next time you see your doctor, tell them, "Doc, I've started adding a few nuts to my evening routine." Keeping your doctor informed of any changes is always a smart habit. And the final question, I'm afraid of gaining weight. This is a worry for so many people. It's true that nuts contain calories, but a small portion, like I've suggested, is only about 150 to 200 calories. Furthermore, the protein and healthy fats in nuts actually help you feel full longer, which can prevent you from snacking on unhealthy things like cookies or ice cream at night. Many of my patients find that when they adopt this habit, they actually manage their weight much better. I hope this frank conversation has helped to ease some of your concerns. My goal is to give you a solution that is not only effective, but also safe and practical for your life. The tone shifts to one of heartfelt, inspiring conclusion. We have traveled a long way together this evening. We've talked about the silent fears, the forgotten connections, and most importantly, the simple yet powerful solutions that lie right within our grasp. Now, as we prepare to close, I want to leave you with this one thought: aging is a privilege. To live another day to see the world change to be with the ones we love, that is a gift. But physical decline is not. Losing your strength, losing the ability to do the things you love, that is not a mandatory part of that gift. That is a choice. And tonight, you have the power to make a different choice. The first and most important action you can take doesn't happen at the grocery store. It happens right here in your heart and in your mind. It is the decision to let go of the belief that you must accept weakness. It is the promise you make to yourself that you deserve to be strong. You deserve to be independent. You deserve a healthy heart to keep on loving, to keep on living fully. And I want you to know you are not alone on this journey. If what I've shared tonight has spoken to you, if you feel a spark of hope and are ready to make that choice for yourself, I sincerely ask you to do something small yet incredibly powerful. Please go to the comment section right below this video and write just 4 simple words, "I choose strength tonight." Why? Because when you write those words, you're not just telling me. You are telling yourself. You are turning an intention into a commitment. And when you see hundreds, perhaps thousands of others from all over writing those exact same words, you will realize that you are part of a community of people who are standing up together, refusing to accept decline and choosing strength. Take care of yourself. This is about more than eating a few nuts. This is an act of respect and love for the body that has served you so faithfully all these years. I'm Dr. Laura, and I believe in your strength. Thank you for listening. I will see you in the next video where we will explore other topics together to help you live the healthiest and fullest life possible. Until then, stay well and stay strong.